I don't know that they can do it. I really don't. All right, let's talk about the New York Football Giants. The New York Giants gave us the thrill of the night on night one as they traded back in the first round to the number 20 spot, and they took Kadarius Toney, the wide receiver out of Florida, which sparked in Brian some evil hatred that's been lying dormant since, I don't know, since he got an atomic wedgie in kindergarten.
Yes, I was picked on severely.
If you haven't seen that video, you need to go watch that video. After this one, it's fantastic.
So we'll start off on a little positive note. I want to make sure I say happy birthday to my beautiful fiance, Christy Chandler. I love you, baby. Thank you for being born on Star Wars Day so that I won't ever forget it because I'm a super nerd. But I love you. Thanks for all your support. Blah, blah, blah. I love you.
You know, if it's going to be heartfelt, you may not want to throw the blah blahs in there.
Yeah, I just missed it by that much.
Listen, I'm just trying to get to my point here because I just started thinking and started to get angry, and I wanted to get out of the anger while I was being nice to my fiance. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah, here we go. So here's the thing. I tried over the weekend to rationalize what happened on Thursday night. I can't ding Gettleman for getting all the extra picks that we got. I mean, next year we're going to have 2 picks in the first, the second, and the fourth, or the first, the third, and the fourth. I can't remember exactly which. I think it's the first, the third, and the fourth. Mm-hmm. So, but that's next year, and we didn't draft a single offensive lineman.
Nope.
Not one.
Nope.
Not one single offensive lineman.
Nope.
I just here we don't know what we're doing. I mean, the reports out of New York are basically like they don't have any idea. Right now, they currently have on their depth chart, they have Nate Solder and at left tackle with Thomas being the backup on him. And I'm like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, that's also not from the Giants, by the way.
Yeah.
Depth charts at this point are sheer speculation.
Okay.
So well, take those at your own risk.
Whatever. I don't give a shit. First and foremost, oh my God, hold on. I'm trying to get my thoughts together because God almighty, I'm pissed. Kadarius Toney I don't deny his talent. I'm not saying people were knocking me because I freaked out over the Kadarius Toney pick. I'm not knocking Kadarius Toney the player. I'm knocking the goddamn pick. Let's be clear here. We needed a freaking offensive lineman. Christian Darrisaw was on the board, and you didn't choose him. I'm not going to knock the second round pick. I really love Azeez Ojulari. Hell, you could have picked Azeez Ojulari first, and I might have been okay with that, and then moved on and got something else. But you went pick after pick after pick after pick after pick, and we didn't see one single lineman taken. It just doesn't make any bit of sense. You're going into a year where you're finally giving Daniel Jones a possible opportunity to succeed, and you don't do anything to protect him. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Who cares if we got Kadarius Toney if we can't get him the goddamn ball?
Can I ask you a question? Were you a pro wrestler in a past life? Because you have this voice that's very... I got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You're going nowhere.
Yeah. Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah, he kind of talked like this all the time. Maybe I got that little bit of that in there because, maybe it's because the cream always rises to the top. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, now I have to cut through and tell you why you're slightly misguided on what you just said.
I'm sure you will.
I don't like Andrew Thomas as a left tackle. That's the one problem you have.
Yeah.
Now, there is a guy in Charles Leno that's out there available right now, and there's going to be more of those. I don't think you're playing him at left tackle. Here's how I think this is going to go. You add a guy that plays left tackle, probably a vet guy that comes in after June 1. Andrew Thomas goes to the right. Will Hernandez is slotted in on the left at guard. Zach Fulton, Nick Gates, one of them is going to play center. Or Jonathan Harrison. Don't be shocked if it's Jonathan Harrison. And then Matt Pert slides in at guard. And I don't hate that. And guess what? You added Kyle Rudolph for an absolute reason, because he's going to play inline tight end a lot. What I don't understand, and you're never going to make me understand, is what you're going to do with all of these weapons. Because here's what I didn't hear a lot of, and it's the number one thing I thought of. You took Kadarius Toney, who plays in the slot. What's Sterling Shepard do?
Right.
What does John Ross do? Mm-hmm. What does Evan Ingram do? They all play the same position. You may call Evan Ingram a tight end. He's not. He's not, because he couldn't block me. That's the part I don't understand. And I like the player. Kadarius Toney's a satellite player that with the ball in his hand is scary. I just don't know how you're going to play all these guys. And I agree completely with what you said. If they had taken Azeez Ojulari at 20 and taken Kadarius Toney in the second round, I'd have had no problems. Wound up that way, wound up fine for them. That's why they got a C+ instead of a D+. Because it worked out hunky-dunky.
Aaron Robinson also was a guy that we talked a lot about in the run-up to the draft. Cornerback out of UCF, goes to him in the third round. Thought that was a good pick.
And again, I liked a lot of these guys in the draft. I don't have any problem with the guys they picked. Like, I'm really happy that we got Rodarius Williams and as late as we did. Again, it's a lot of these things what we talk about aren't necessarily, we're not knocking the actual player themselves because these guys are good. It's the part about where they're drafted and where do they fit, and when there's so many other glaring needs, how you could just completely ignore them. Like, why? I just don't understand what the hell the thinking is when you don't draft one single lineman.
The Giants just hit a nerve with him. We can't get him animated about shit else, but by God, we can light his candle on the Giants.
I freak out over my team. Syracuse basketball, we're going to be doing the same exact thing when we come around this year.
I've actually bared witness to that. I've never watched it. I've never actually seen him watch a Giants game. I've watched him watch a Syracuse game. And it leads to me saying a lot of things that they're not nice.
Yeah.
Because I like to poke.
He likes to poke the bear.
Especially because my college basketball team we're real good.
Look, this whole division was a dumpster fire last year.
Yeah.
No team in it, we kept saying throughout the season, none of these teams deserved to be in the playoffs. No, Washington turned it around there at the end and at least did put on a good performance when they did get into the playoffs. But the Giants, I look at this team and I don't hate it.
I don't either.
I
really
think
don't.
They really have a decent team that with a better quarterback, they could probably be a real threat.
I would like to see, whether it's I can't remember the guy's name. O'Shane. I never could pronounce his last name.
Zimenez?
Yeah, I never could pronounce it. It starts with an X. I don't know how to do that. I barely speak English. I can't pronounce words that start with X. But I look at the rest of this team and I go, there's talent here. And I love Joe Judge. I mean, I absolutely love Joe Judge. So I'm not going to bang them as hard as you are, solely because you're a fan.
Yeah.
Fan is short for fanatic, and you're not necessarily realistic about your own team. I think you're better than you do.
And here's the thing. I do think we have an opportunity. What he just said, with a better quarterback, you have to protect this guy. If he has shown in small spurts that when he is protected and he does not get sacked, he can do things.
You can do some stuff,
He can do some stuff. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is all world, but this was the year that you had to figure it out. This year, right here, you went out and paid the money for Kenny Golladay. You did these things. You got Kyle Rudolph to help block on the line to get Evan Ingram more free on some other things. We made some good decisions in the offseason. I was really impressed with what they did. I was starting to be like, I guess Gettleman's not so bad. And if you've seen my reaction, as soon as I heard that they traded back, I was happier than a pig in shit.
Right.
It's the thing about if you can't protect your quarterback, it doesn't freaking matter who else you got around him, period.
Well, now here's the thing, and I got to say something to what you said about Daniel Jones. There's not a fix to that. You didn't have a fix to that. You're stuck with Daniel Jones for 3 years. When you take a guy in the first round, unless it's Dwayne Haskins and he's an absolute dumpster fire, or Josh Rosen, you're stuck with him for 3 years. Now, what I will say is this is the first time I feel like you've given him a legitimate team. And I think, and I've been a massive Daniel Jones detractor, I think he can be good enough with this team to be the second or third best team in this division. And that's going to be good enough to borderline make the playoffs. Because there are a lot of fucking dog babies in the NFC. And I got news for you. The Eagles are a dog baby. The Detroit Lions, they're doing it on purpose. The Atlanta Falcons are not going to be great. I'm afraid the Saints are going to regress aggressively. I think the Seahawks are going to regress aggressively.
Yeah.
And now I'm not saying those teams are not equivalently bad. What I'm saying is I can see a path where the Giants are better than every team I just said.
Yeah.
And that puts you in playoff contention. And if this year ends and you're 8-9 or 9-8 and Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over 25 times, you're on the right path. You're on the right path. You go into the fourth year with him and you see what you got.
And see, I'm looking at it more about like seeing that Daniel Jones is in his third year. We either need to know what he's going to do or not. And if he's under pressure the entire year because you have nobody to block for him, then how can you, then we're going to be saying the same exact things that we said over last. Oh, well, you know, he didn't really have the line. He had all these weapons, but he didn't really have the line. I don't want to hear it anymore. I want to do the thing that you say all the time. Either be really good or really, really bad. And if Daniel Jones isn't the case, move on. Yeah. We have 100,000 draft picks. But if you're going to do this, try to protect the kid at least.
Yeah. Speaking of moving on, we need to do that.
Yeah, we do
another team. But I do want to. I want to reiterate what you just said.